Hello, and thank you for taking the time to watch my presentation on Costco Wholesale and the external factors affecting their financial performance. Costco Wholesale was established in 1983 by Jim Seingal and Jeff Brotman out in Seattle, Washington. Since then, the corporation has grown to one of the largest U.S.-based retailers and now is one of the seventh largest retailer in the entire world. As of fiscal year end 2012, Costco operates 622 stores worldwide, 448 of which are within the U.S., and the remaining stores are spread out amongst Canada, Australia, Japan, South Korea, Taiwan, the UK, as well as Mexico. Total sales for the company in 2012 topped $97 billion, up 11.5% from the year prior. Needless to say, executive management, as well as Wall Street, was very happy with this performance. While Costco is certainly doing well at this point in time, their performance is not without risk factors that are beyond their control. In this presentation, I plan to review three external factors that play a significant role and influence their financial performance. The three areas of my focus will be excessive competition within the retail marketplace, effects from the downturn in the U.S. economy, most notably 2008 to 2011, and inflationary risks of the commodities that they do purchase and sell. While Costco is among the sharks in the retail food chain, that is not to say the company does not face significant competition for dominance in that industry. Its top three competitors are BJ Wholesale, Walmart, and Sam's Club. Now, Walmart and Sam's Club are both one and the same. So in order to actually focus on the competition there, I'm going to only focus on Walmart. In 2011, Walmart started its Price Match ad campaign, which promised consumers, if you find a lower advertised price, we'll match it. In an environment where retailers are already operating on thin margins, this kind of competition put significant stress on the market. All other retailers had to price more competitively now for fear of losing market share. If your competitor is out there undercutting you, it's not too good for the entire market because everybody's going to have to adjust their prices. The overall effect led to a decrease in margins for most retailers, and the pressure certainly affected Costco's bottom line. Among having to fight with other retailers on price, on merchandise, Costco must contend with competitors when they try to enter into new markets. Costco, at this point in time in 2009, has a large concentration of its stores out in California. Roughly 30% of its sales come from California-based stores. So you can understand a poor performance in California can affect the entire market and the entire company as well. Now, 25% of its entire stores of 622 were focused right in there. So they underwent an aggressive expansion campaign in 2011 in 2009, in order to decrease some of the risk and diversify throughout the United States and worldwide. Now, in 2009, by setting out plans for an aggressive expansion to new markets, there does also have some other problems in going into those new markets. The company tried to diversify and look into other markets that are more urban, such as Chicago and New York. Outside of the challenge of the market saturated with smaller privately owned stores in these urban areas, another problem arises. National retailers such as dollar stores or Dollar General can more easily enter urban markets just based on the size of their operation. They only need a couple thousand square feet as to a couple 100,000 square feet. A lot less people working there, a lot less human capital, and they carry a lot less inventory. So the average Costco store needs about 100,000 square foot facility, along with parking and receiving and shipping bays. Needless to say, the urban area to build a facility does not come cheap in cities like New York and Chicago. So entering into new urban markets is more challenging not only because of the concentration of competition, but the lack of available spaces and the high cost of purchasing land, build out, human capital, etc. Now I'd like to move on to the effects of the U.S. economy. As with most retailers, the downturn in the U.S. economy from 2008 to 2011 had a significant impact on sales. At the end of 2009, Costco experienced its first decline in sales. Sales plummeted almost $1 billion from the prior year. This would result from the economic depression. During 2008 and 2011, consumer spending contracted due to the amount of layoffs, the uncertainty within the job market, as well as the crash within the stock market. Discretionary spending tumbled, and the holiday months, where retailers generally make a bulk of their sales, declined to 2.2% and 1.7% in November 2009 and December 2009, respectively. In response to these weak numbers, Costco slashed food prices in order to maintain its customers, which depressed its margins even further. Going into the start of the second quarter in 2010, retail sales were still signaling the recovery in consumer spending was gradual. In the meantime, the cost of inventory began to increase, but Costco resisted passing on the cost in hopes that consumers' discretionary spending would rebound. They didn't want to upset any of their customers and have them go to Walmart down the street. This gradual recovery from the lack in consumer confidence eventually led Costco to increase its membership fees in 2012 by 10%. Now, the risk of inflation is the cost of doing business whenever you're selling commodities whose prices are subject to speculation, and this next area looks to focus on that. In 2008 to 2009, the cost of merchandise was increasing faster than Costco was willing to pass on the price increases to its customers. With weak consumer spending, compressing margins on one side, and the rising customers of merchandise, the cost of doing business on the other, margins continued to shrink. The cost of everything rose from plastic cups at 8%, as well as dog food at 3.5%, detergent at 10%, as well as water at another 10%. Throughout all of this, Costco still did not pass on these costs to the consumer for fear of losing market share. Since Costco purchases inventory in such large amounts, it must use an accounting standard known as last in, first out. This accounting approach requires revaluing inventory given prices are rising and falling all the time. Since inventory prices were increasing throughout this time period, sales and, by effect, net income was affected by the LIFO charge, which is subtracted out of the net income, thus affecting the financial performance of the commodity and the company. Anytime a commodity like beef or pork rises in cost, so does the LIFO charge. Knowing this, Costco tries to mitigate its margins when buying product, but unfortunately, inflationary risk is the cost of doing business in an industry when you sell commodities. I hope you enjoyed my presentation, and please reach out with me if you have any questions. Thank you. Bye.